Hello, it's Peter Wright and Kathleen Beauvais with another weekly wrap-up for the Yakking Show, and this is for the week ending the 19th of September. Wow, we're over halfway through September. So first, let's welcome Kathleen for her deep dive, and today she's going to do a deep dive into ADHD. So hi, Kathleen, how are you today?
Oh, I'm doing great, Peter. And thank you all so very much for tuning in. And as Peter mentioned, I do want to chat a little bit about ADHD, the symptoms, the causes, the treatments, and the natural approaches. You might be interested in hearing about this. So, what are the types of ADHD? There's inattentive. So a child is with this type is primarily experiences inattention and is easily distracted. This subtype is more common among females. Then there's the impulsive/hyperactive. So this is the rarest form, apparently, of ADHD. A child with this type of impulsive and hyperactive, with this type is impulsive and hyperactive, but does not have difficulty paying attention. They may perform excessive movements, inappropriate for the setting, and take hasty actions without thinking. They also struggle to organize or complete tasks. They may find it difficult to follow instructions or conversations. They may also fidget or talk excessively. And then there's the combined. So this is the most prevalent form of ADHD. A child with this type is both impulsive and hyperactive. They also struggle with maintaining focus and are easily distracted. And ADHD symptoms, they say, can manifest as early as the ages of 3 to 6. So when we talk about inattentive symptoms, it's failure to pay attention to details or making careless mistakes at school, struggling to maintain focus during tasks or play, and demonstrating an age-inappropriate brief attention span and not listening when spoken to directly. And then there's the hyperactivity symptoms, which include appearing constantly in motion without a clear purpose other than movement, being restless, fidgeting, or squirming in their seat, frequently leaving their seat when expected to stay seated. And then there's impulsivity symptoms, which include interrupting or blurting out answers before questions are finished, having difficulty waiting for their turn, other interrupting or intruding on others in conversations or activities, or I meant often interrupting or intruding on others in conversation or activities. So they say approximately 20% to 60% of children with ADHD experience learning disabilities that affect reading, math, or written language, often leading to academic difficulties such as poor grades. Around 60% of children throw temper tantrums, while most older children exhibit low tolerance for frustration. So what causes ADHD? They say here it could be genetics, brain abnormalities, environmental factors, of which there are many. So I've made a list here of these environmental factors that may influence the development of ADHD, including maternal smoking during pregnancy, maternal alcohol consumption during pregnancy, premature birth, low birth rate of less than 3 pounds, exposures to alcohol, tobacco, or possibly cocaine before birth, brain injuries, poor parental mental health. So they found that maternal stress, anxiety, and depression, postpartum depression, and paternal depression had all been previously linked to ADHD in children. Exposures to toxins. So examples include lead, pesticides, and PCBs. A high conflict home environment, early childhood trauma. So most children with ADHD, they say, have not experienced early trauma, but some have suffered from violence, abuse, or neglect. And then, of course, there's nutritional deficiencies. What I find here interesting, Peter, and I know it's controversial, but I'm going to say it anyways, it's not included in this article, but vaccines, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So we don't know.
We
But
don't know, but we've discussed this before with some of the guests we've had on the show, and with my background in Africa, where many black children, rural black children, had almost no vaccinations. Right? They might have had polio and smallpox. That's it.
Mhm.
Even my generation, we had about four vaccinations. Right? ADHD was unheard of. I mean, I'd never heard of ADHD until I was in my sort of 40s, and my own children were 10 years old. But going back to the black children, many of these black children were subject to trauma. They did not have good nutrition. They got a lot of exercise. Some of their parents were fairly harsh on them, but they didn't have ADHD. And I have to question whether it was the lack of vaccines that was a big factor in protecting them. So anyway, as you say, it's controversial, but again, a more accurate comparison is if you look at the closed communities in North America, the Amish in particular. I read somewhere that the rate of autism in children in the Amish communities is something like 1 in 8,000, which is what it was in the general North American population in the 1950s,
Mhm.
whereas now in the general North American population, it's something like 1 in 38 children have autism. What's the common factor? They don't have many vaccinations. They don't get exposed to a lot of the toxins that everybody else does, and they
Right.
have a more healthy diet, and they exercise, and their parents are strict. I don't know. I think it's all of those things. Anyway, I'm going on a rant, but Kathleen, what does ADHD, the acronym, what does it actually stand for? Attention Deficit
Hyperactivity disorder.
Hyperactivity
Yes,
Disorder.
but I haven't finished quite yet.
Oh,
I
I'm
talk,
sorry. I
it's
didn't want to
okay.
take over.
No, not at all. But I just want to talk about the natural approaches to
Sure.
advanced ADHD. And they say here there are medicinal herbs that could help, such as passion flower, French maritime pine bark, ginseng, and saffron. And there's some dietary supplements that you can also take. And I probably would see a naturopathic doctor to help recommend those. But there's also elimination diets. So if you find that there are certain things that your child is eating that might trigger some things, again, you have to be aware and very keen on eliminating those offensive foods that might
Hmm.
cause this. There's also, they say, yoga and meditation,
Hmm.
interactive metronome training. That's kind of an
Hmm.
interesting one, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
Neurofeedback, green outdoor activities, and reduce screen time,
Hmm.
which I think everybody can benefit from. But
Absolutely. Yeah.
and that's what I wanted to chat about today.
Hey, very good.
Mhm.
Good. And then, of course, you have a recommended health product for the day too. And the one that you're going to talk about may well be beneficial for people. Maybe. I can't claim it will be, but certainly might help for people with ADHD.
Well, Dr. Morse has made it quite simple in terms of detoxification. So we often wonder, well, what herb should I take? What supplement should I take to help me detoxify? And he's made it simple because if you go to the link that we're attaching to this video, it'll take you to his detox kits. Now, these kits typically include tinctures to help with kidney filtration, lymphatic drainage, and it probably some hormonal stuff as well, and GI supplements that will help you to detoxify your gut. So all of that is included in his kits. So something to take a look at for sure, Peter.
Absolutely. That sounds like a good one.
Mhm.
Good. Thanks for that, Kathleen. Interesting stuff. Let's tell you what has been going on the Yakni Show itself this week.
Mhm.
So, on Tuesday we had Joy Musacchio, who is an aromatherapist, and she has a really extensive website. I was on there yesterday just having a look for something else. Kathleen was talking about herbal remedies that may help with ADHD, and she has a whole list of aromatherapy products, essential oils, and distillates, and I can't remember all the other terms. And some of these are specific for certain issues. So that's a good one. She took us through the history of aromatherapy. It's been around for thousands of years. Types of products, types of essential oils that are beneficial for certain conditions, how to use them. She also told us that they're safe for pets, which is a lot of people are concerned they might not be safe for pets. as an infusion, not to pour on the pet, of course. So that's a good one. If you want to watch that, you should watch that. The following week will be Jeff Nelligan, who's an author, and he is talking about raising resilient children and parenting. And he was a breath of fresh air with some of the other stuff that we hear in the news these days. So he's really good. If you want to bring your children up to be resilient, you want to watch or listen to that episode. After him will be Alan Meisner, who will be talking about the importance of keeping fit after 40. And he has a whole lot of exercises to help you do that. And then finishing off the lineup over the next 4 weeks is Lauren Callahan, who's a gut health expert and specialist, and she's a recovery coach. So if you have issues with your gut or your digestive system, she's a good lady to talk to. She will put you on natural ways of sorting your gut out. And she's very knowledgeable. She went into great detail of the problems that we experience in our modern lifestyle. So that's another good one. We have a featured author every week, and this week we're going back to Terry Tucker, who was our guest in episode 312, and his book is Sustainable Excellence. Terry was a really interesting guy, talking about overcoming adversity. I thought my life had been difficult, then I listened to him and I thought, oh, I've had it easy, right? So his book is really good, and you'll be able to get a link to that on the website. And I just wanted to mention, Kathleen, that we haven't told our audience that we've brought in different playlists on our YouTube channel now. So we are recategorizing all our videos into things like women's health, cancer stuff, how to improve your mental ability, digestion, diet. There's a whole lot of different categories. So if you've got a specific interest, in a week or so, if you go to our YouTube channel, you will be able to select what you want to watch there if you want to look something up. And as always, we have interesting guests. We've got more coming up that we haven't even mentioned yet. So to make sure you don't miss out on them, hop onto the website, theyakingshow.com, and sign up for our weekly newsletter. We only send you one email a week. We don't overload you, but we just tell you who's on this week, who's coming next week. And that's about it from me. So back to you, Kathleen.
Well, thank you all so very much for tuning in. And until next week, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.